Hello, I'm Scott Mills. I'm up in Toronto, Canada tonight, and this is the second annual Crime Stoppers Global Tweet-A-Thon on hashtag CSTWT for the purpose of trying to get some more awareness for Crime Stoppers programs, community-led Crime Stoppers programs in partnership with the police and the media, and now social media, to prevent and solve crimes worldwide. And we've got some special guests here on this special day for Crime Stoppers. Mr. Scott Abrams is here, and Scott is from Wisconsin, and he's the social media person for Crime Stoppers USA, and he's been gracious enough to host this on his account. So, welcome, Scott. And we have Lyle Clancy from Smiths Falls District Crime Stoppers, which is up near Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, in the Ottawa Valley. And he is the gentleman that's organized today's event, and we've got some great news and some great results for him that we're going to share. And we're all going to have a little word here. And we've got Jen here, Computer Jen, as she's known, from Grey Bruce Crime Stoppers up around Meaford and Owen Sound area in Ontario. It's quite a large part of Ontario, and Jen's recently got right into this social media thing here. So one of our goals for this hangout and this video is to let everybody know out there that you can pretty much start from scratch at this stuff and not spend any money and really get some great engagement in something like this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to share my screen, and hopefully everybody can see that. Can you see that?
Looks good, Scott.
This is something called Tweet Reach, and this tweet-a-thon was for a 24-hour period, and we're at about the 13th hour right now. So for the first 12 hours of this tweet-a-thon, according to Tweet Reach, which is not a native Twitter analytics, so the real Twitter people would say these numbers are inflated, FYI. But there's 541,546 accounts reached, and potentially over 5 million impressions. And I think that's absolutely amazing. As you go through that report, it shows the top tweets and the top tweeters. It doesn't really matter who the top people are. It matters that everybody's participating and having a voice. So I'm going to stop presenting my screen here. And I'm going to turn this over to first Scott Abrams from Crime Stoppers USA for a few words about what he was seeing today and what's going on down in the United States with Crime Stoppers.
Well, thanks, Scott. Yes, I'm the immediate past chair of Crime Stoppers USA, and as you mentioned earlier, you and I head up the social media for Crime Stoppers USA, and that's been somewhat of a challenge for a lot of programs over the years, as it is throughout the world. A lot of the people involved in Crime Stoppers have been familiar with their phone lines and things like that. They really didn't get into social media, so it's kind of a push to get them into these types of a program so they can take advantage of what social media has to offer. Crime Stoppers USA is an organization that consists of over 350 members. We've been in existence since 1976, and throughout the United States, we've solved over 1 million cases. We've paid out over $103 million in rewards, and we recovered drugs and narcotics of over $4.2 billion. That didn't all come from social media tips, but that's the predominant way that tips are starting to come in nowadays, and through the mobile medias. And so to get the word out there and get people engaged through community conversations, know what's going on, it's a much more rapid way to have them become familiar with what's going on in the community and the law enforcement side, and certainly from the Crime Stoppers side. So social media is becoming to play such a large role in law enforcement as it has with our Crime Stoppers organizations today. So we're proud to be a part of that, and certainly proud to be a part of the second annual Global Crime Stoppers Tweet-A-Thon.
Thanks very much, Scott. It's always a pleasure to have you involved with this. And I remember back when we were first starting all of this, and it was a struggle even to get ourselves out here doing this. And now it's almost second nature,
Yes.
and it's something that we do. And the more of us we can get involved, the better. So I'm quite proud of Lyle and Jen here. Because they have come pretty much from no social media presence for their Crime Stoppers programs in rural areas of Ontario, not with very little budgets, and they've really accomplished some great things here today. And I'd just like Lyle to introduce himself and tell everybody in his own words how this all came about and what he's seeing out there today. So, welcome, Lyle.
Well, it's so great to be here, Scott, and it's great to be chatting with you for the second time today. We're fortunate enough to have a little time on Blab this afternoon. The way this all came about, our particular program ended up having a bit of a financial crunch at the beginning of this year. We lost a little over half, almost 2/3 of our source of revenue. And that's a big impact on any Crime Stopper program, and I think we can all attest to that. So we had to start looking at alternative ways of doing everything. And so as soon as this happened, we thought, how are we going to get that message out? How are we going to cut back on our marketing spend and still really reach the community and the areas around? So we started to look at some social media aspects, and we started with a Twitter account. Both yourself and Computer Jen will remember from back at our OACS conference, that's the Ontario Crime Stoppers conference in June, that we had just started with a Twitter account by that time. We got some wonderful training from yourself, from Janine Thomas, and a few others. And then we made a fortunate connection here in our own community. We found a woman who works with the business community by day and started an evening business helping people, helping seniors more specifically, with social media, Twitter, Facebook. And as it turns out, many of my Crime Stoppers happen to fall in that seniors demographic. So we took that, another local organization, our Lions Club, we partnered everything together and got together in the local hotel, in their conference room, their boardroom, and managed to arrange social media training over an extensive period. We're now up and running on both Twitter, Facebook, and we were fortunate enough to be asked to host the Global Tweet-A-Thon this year, and we're very pleased to be doing that. So,
well, congratulations! I just showed you that tweet reach report, which is something that I just threw a credit card on for $20 just to get the
yes.
the full report there. And that was news to you shortly we started this video. What do you think about that potential reach?
Well, it's astounding. I'll tell you, our community is a population base of approximately 10,000 people. We happen to reach out further than our simple geographical bounds, and we cover a district, a very sparsely populated area, from almost the edges of Canada's capital, Ottawa, right on down to the St. Lawrence Seaway, close to the Kingston area. But it's not a large population base. We're still talking only really 25,000 people that would, at a maximum, consider us their Crime Stopper program. And to be reaching numbers on this scale, it's phenomenal. And the budget's just right, too.
Congratulations.
Well, I'm very happy for you. You told me earlier today, Lyle, that you're staying up all night because this goes till 8 a.m. Are you still staying up all night?
Well, pretty committed to this, so I'm going to stay up all night. I've got to get a little bit better at scheduling tweets, so since I'm in this boat, yes, I'm staying up all night.
Well, I just really congratulate you on your dedication to this, and I hope it's infectious. And I think we got another example here in Computer Jen coming to us tonight from Meaford. What's your story up in Grey Bruce County Crime Stoppers, Jen?
Well, Scott, we didn't have social media because we did things the old way. So now we went and met you in June at the conference, did a selfie, and you said, well, come down and spend 3 hours with me, and we'll get you set up. But do this, 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 and this, and this, and this first, and then come down. So we did that, and then the summer went by, and so what, last week, the week before, I made it over and spent 5 or 6 hours with you hammering things out. And then we've been tweeting madly and Facebook. We had a Facebook page, but it wasn't doing. I think we had 32 followers.
So what are you up to now?
I think we're still in the low hundreds, but we're getting there. I think I added 3 more. Got added today. Well, it's slow, but it's coming.
Good. Well, I know that we spent some time installing the on the Facebook page the app, the Leave a Tip tab apps, and we now make those for any program that drills right down into your program, and it also puts a terms of use on, so we can do that pretty quickly for any other of the programs that are out there, and we can customize it for any program, whether it be in Canada or USA. So. Scott's very involved with that, and I'd like to thank Jeff Brown out in Truro, Nova Scotia. He works tirelessly to customize those tabs so that we can quickly and effectively install them.
Right.
Jen, I want to see if you could talk maybe about Twitter lists, from somebody that didn't know what Twitter was a short while ago to. And you're a computer person yourself, you know. Like I know you've got a service for, you know, that you service computers and you help a lot of seniors, especially out with computers. Social media is a different cat. I'm really impressed with the list that you came up with, and I wondered if you could share with everybody here what the list is all about and kind of put it in layman's terms as to how it's working for you.
Well, when I did your social media training thing at the Ontario conference in June, you went on and on about lists, which meant absolutely nothing to me at the time. And then we got our Twitter account up and running, what, 2 weeks ago? And you said, you know, make a list and you can subscribe to other people's lists. And I still didn't really get it, but I went in there and explored and tried and got a Crime Stoppers list from Megan, I think, and just sort of looked at what other people had. So I just sort of hammered away at the radio stations who seemed to have thousands of followers, went through who they followed, and got local ambulance, other charity organizations, the hospital foundation. I just started a sponsors one that just has our sponsors in it that I could find on Twitter. And you subscribed to it, but I think the first night I hammered away at it, I did like, what, 150 or something?
Yeah, it's a great list. It's essentially you've got the community, the police, and the media all on one list, and what that allows everybody to do is that allows other people to subscribe to that list, and you can kind of become a go-to place for listening on social media for items that matter, events of relevance in the area, and it's a great way to listen to what's going on and engage, because engagement's everything out there. So.
Yeah, and our area is like the Grey Bruce counties, which is like, I don't know, maybe a couple hundred square miles.
Well.
It's big.
Big territory out there.
So, well, one thing I've learned is shorter is better on these videos, so that people kind of watch and get what we're trying to say out there. And I think we've.
I have a question about lists though that came up today. Can I ask you that?
Sure.
So I was going to change the name of one of my lists. So does that affect people that have subscribed to it?
No, you can change the list, the name, no problem, and it won't affect anybody that's either added onto it or your subscribers. So maybe I'll turn it over to Lyle for some last words, and then we'll finish off with Scott with a summary of everything.
Well, I'd like to just share a little bit of the fun side of social media. For all of our Crime Stopper programs that struggle day to day trying to find new members and really engage people and get them on board with us, we had a very funny situation happen earlier this year. Just as we were starting to discover Twitter, I maintain a personal Twitter account, which I don't often remember to use, and I maintain the Crime Stoppers account. And as I went to follow a local individual, he works heavily with our youth community, the youth in our community. I intended to follow him with my personal account, and I ended up following with my Crime Stoppers account. He met me in the streets a few days later, and he said, "How did you know that I was interested in Crime Stoppers?" Well, to make a long story short, about 2.5 months later, with the full approval of the board, we brought him on board as our newest and youngest board member. He's under 30, and we don't often have a lot in that demographic, and we're happy to have him on board. He's been tweeting away today like crazy. So,
wow, that's a
little
good
success stories.
Good positive story. So, Jen, any last words before we go to Scott to finish this off?
No, I'll keep trying to learn new things and tweet more and add to my list.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us here tonight. And Scott, any last words before we stop this live broadcast?
Yeah, let me follow up on a few items that were of keen interest to me. Jen pointed out a few things and trying it and getting into it, and a lot of people don't like to do that. Something new, it's challenging to them. Sometimes it can be daunting to even begin learning a social media or getting involved in it. But I think your words, Jen, we tried it. So you can try it. You're not going to break it, so go ahead and try it. So that's what I would encourage people to do, is just get involved, start tweeting and or picking up some of the other social media like Facebook or something else. And the social media is getting more expansive as we speak. But from a Crime Stoppers program standpoint, and you're up there in some remote areas as well, like Lyle mentioned before. In the United States, many programs have the opportunity to work with television stations in their community. They can do a crime of the week. They'll come out there and they'll do a crime of the week. They'll put it on the news or around on the station sometime during the day. I'm in a community that's next to Milwaukee. I live in Racine, Wisconsin. We don't have the opportunity to have a TV station come out and do a crime of the week for us. But that's where the opportunity, and we're trying to get engaged, small programs get engaged with using YouTube to create their own. And it doesn't have to be anything more than maybe just reading the script a couple of times. You don't have to do an elaborate reenactment. But to get the word out there about Crime Stoppers or what's going on or the crime of the week you're trying to do, it's much better when you put a face to it than trying to read it just in a newspaper or somebody's reading it on the radio. They go out there, and the young people are very much engaged in YouTube, and they look for information like this. So to get engaged and use that social media in that way. The last thing, Scott, that I would mention is what you and I are doing. And we'll do it for anybody. We do one-on-one training sessions on social media. So if you're not familiar with social media, you want to get more engaged, or how do you want to pick up your productivity or improve your social media within your program, you can email us, you can tweet us, whatever. Let us know, and we'll set up something for your program if you want to do a one-on-one training session and get more involved in social media. So I'll leave it at that. I think that's a good summary of where we are and what we're trying to do in the Crime Stoppers realm of social media.
Thanks very much, Scott. And my final words are that a lot of people think that you have to have a lot of followers to have clout out on social media and to make it worthwhile. Crime Stoppers programs are recognized worldwide as official sources of information from the community in partnership with the police and the media, and it's recognized as accurate information. I would call it official source information. And when you have an emerging issue happening in your community, like a missing child, for instance, and you might only have 15 or 20 followers on your Twitter account, or you may only have 100 people that have liked your Facebook page, but when you put that information of relevance and official source out there, with an anonymous tip line to call in tips, your post goes viral, and you become the talk of the town, which is what you want to become in a situation like that. So don't let numbers of high followers discourage you, and just keep relevant content up to date on your social media once or twice a day, and the more people you can get involved with it that can post a little bit here and there, the better. Decentralize it, but have a purpose and a process and a plan. And there's lots of people out there that can help you with it. And as Scott said, we're both really, really keen to help many people. So thank you for all that you've done. And good luck staying up all night, Lyle.
Thanks, Scott.
And I'm just going to turn it off here. So good night, everybody. And
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.